the burden of preordained sanctity, and the path of the anointed. The clarification of the eternal call begins not in the moment of your physical birth, but in the silent corridors of a pre-temporal existence where your essence was woven from the threads of celestial intent. You must understand, with every fiber of your being, that before the first spark of your biological life flickered in the sanctuary of the womb, you were already known by the Ancient of Days, and before you ever inhaled the thick air of this terrestrial realm, you were consecrated for a purpose that exceeds the narrow boundaries of human comprehension. This knowledge is not a comfort, but a weight that sits upon your soul like the gravity of 1,000 suns, and it often manifests in your daily life as a haunting sense of being an eternal outsider, looking in at a world that feels increasingly foreign and disjointed from the frequency of your spirit. You walk through crowded streets and sit in glass offices, yet you feel the distance of light years between your inner reality and the superficial constructs that others call home. This awakening you are experiencing is not a gentle breeze that softly stirs the leaves of your consciousness, but rather a violent and necessary tearing of the veil, where the suffocating comforts of mediocrity are being stripped away with a surgical precision that leaves you exposed and raw. The divine hand is removing the layers of worldly conditioning that have sought to domesticate your wild celestial potential, and in this stripping, you are being forced to reveal a path of solitude that few have the courage to walk. Yet all who remain in the shadows must eventually witness as you begin to recognize the indelible mark of the divine etched into your very essence. The calling does not arrive as a polite invitation, but as a profound and agonizing dissatisfaction with the mundane aspects of existence, where the hollow echoes of eternity start to vibrate within the marrow of your bones, making it impossible for you to remain tethered to the superficial structures of a society that seeks to bind your spirit to the trivial and the transient. You are being summoned from the deepest abysses of your internal ocean to confront the terrifying reality that your existence was never meant to be ordinary or palatable to the masses, and this realization carries with it the crushing weight of a kingdom that expects and demands your total and unconditional surrender to the divine will. This surrender is the first step into a fortress of multi-layered protection that covers your body, your mind, and your spirit, with a shield that the world cannot penetrate. Your physical vessel, which often feels weary and brittle, is being fortified from within by a molecular grace that sustains you even when your strength fails, and this protection extends to the very cells of your being, ensuring that the biological temple you inhabit remains a sanctified space for the indwelling of the eternal. Your mind, which is often the primary battlefield for the forces of distraction and doubt, is being wrapped in a cloak of discernment that allows you to see through the illusions of the age and recognize the hidden maneuvers of the adversary before they can take root in your thoughts. This mental fortress is built on the foundation of a peace that surpasses understanding, acting as a sentinel over your perceptions and keeping your focus locked onto the celestial horizon despite the storms that rage in the physical world. Your spirit is the core of this tripartite defense, shielded by an aura of light that blazes with the intensity of your preordained sanctity, making you invisible to the spiritual predators that roam the darkness, looking for those who are lukewarm. Within this citadel of protection, there is an infinite capacity for mercy, regarding the errors and stumbles that characterize your human walk. For the divine knows that the path of the anointed is fraught with the friction of the flesh and the gravity of the world. Each mistake you make is not viewed as a terminal failure, but as a refining fire that burns away the dross of ego and pride, allowing the pure gold of your true nature to emerge with greater clarity. There is a profound and tender mercy for the times you doubted the call, and for the moments you sought refuge in the very mediocrity you were born to transcend, for these deviations are understood as the growing pains of a soul learning to carry the weight of glory. This mercy is a constant river that flows beneath the foundation of your destiny, washing away the stains of regret and providing the spiritual nourishment needed to rise again after every fall. Alongside this mercy, there must grow within you a microscopic gratitude for the smallest and most intricate details of your daily existence, which are, in fact, the hidden signatures of the Creator. You must learn to find a holy resonance in the way a single drop of water catches the morning light, or in the intricate rhythm of your own heartbeat, which continues its faithful labor without your conscious command. There is a sacred architecture in the texture of a leaf, and a prophetic message in the way the wind whispers through the trees. And as you cultivate a heart that is sensitive to these tiny marvels, you will find that the mundane world is actually a tapestry of miracles waiting to be acknowledged. This gratitude for the microscopic is the key to maintaining your sanity in a world of grand delusions, as it grounds your celestial spirit in the beauty of the present moment, and reminds you that even in the smallest details, you are being cared for with an infinite and meticulous love. The path of the anointed requires you to be a master of the silent strategy, where you move through the world with a quiet authority that does not need to shout to be heard, and where your power is hidden in the depths of your communion with the divine. You are being trained to be a silent witness to the truth, carrying a light that is so blindingly pure it requires no explanation, only the courage to stand still while the world spins in its frantic cycles of confusion. The burden of your sanctity is the realization that you no longer belong to yourself, and that every breath you take is a property of the kingdom you serve. And while this total surrender may feel like a death, it is actually the only way to truly live. You are being invited to enter the secret place of the Most High, where the noise of the world is silenced, and where the true blueprint of your destiny is revealed in the stillness of a heart that has stopped fighting against its own greatness. This is the clarification of the eternal call, where you accept that you were born for this hour and for this specific struggle, and that the loneliness you feel is merely the space being cleared for the divine presence to occupy. You must guard your mind against the encroaching shadows of bitterness and resentment for those who do not understand your path, for they are blinded by the very veil you have been chosen to tear. Instead, you must walk with a regal humility, knowing that your authority comes not from your own strength, but from the one who called you by name before the foundations of the earth were laid. As you move deeper into this consecrated life, you will find that the physical world begins to lose its grip on your desires, and the treasures of the Spirit become the only currency that matters to you. You are being prepared to be a beacon for other chosen ones who are still wandering in the dark, wondering why they feel so out of place in a world that promises everything but provides nothing. Your life is becoming a scripture written in the language of lived experience, a testament to the fact that it is possible to be in the world but not of it, and to carry the fire of heaven without being consumed by the flames of earth. This is the weight of the kingdom, the heavy and holy responsibility of being a vessel for the divine purpose in a time of great shaking. You must embrace the silence and the solitude as the training ground for your spirit, where you learn to hear the still small voice amidst the cacophony of the age, and where you receive the blueprints for the works you are destined to perform. There is no turning back from this path, for the veil once torn cannot be mended, and the eyes once opened cannot be closed to the reality of the eternal. You are a sentinel of the sacred, a guardian of the hidden truths, and your journey is the unfolding of a prophecy that was written in the stars long before you were formed. Let the weight of this calling anchor you in the truth, and let the mercy of the divine sustain you through the trials that are necessary for your refinement. For you are being fashioned into a weapon of light in the hands of the Creator. Every small act of gratitude and every moment of surrender adds another layer of brilliance to your spirit, making you a formidable force in the spiritual landscape. Do not fear the magnitude of the call or the isolation of the path, for you are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses and protected by an army of celestial beings who recognize the mark upon your brow. Your life is no longer an accident of biology, but a calculated move in the grand strategy of the divine. And as you yield to this reality, you will find a peace that the world can neither give nor take away. The burden of preordained sanctity is indeed heavy, but it is the only weight that will ever make you feel truly light. And the path of the anointed is indeed narrow, but it is the only road that leads to the heart of the eternal. Walk now with the dignity of your celestial heritage and the quiet power of one who has seen the truth, and let your existence be a living prayer that echoes through the halls of eternity. In the intricate dance of your days, remember that nothing is wasted, and no detail is too small for the divine attention, as the mercy that follows you is as boundless as the sea, and the protection that covers you is as unyielding as the mountains. You are the chosen, the anointed, the scribe of a new reality, and the world waits in silent anticipation for the full manifestation of the glory that has been deposited within you. Surrender to the process and let the divine will be done in you as it is in the heavens, for you are the bridge between the two worlds, and your faithfulness is the key to the kingdom. Within the silence of your soul, the echoes of the pre-womb covenant are growing louder, calling you to shed the last vestiges of your old self and step fully into the light of your preordained purpose. The world may see an outsider, but the heavens see a son or daughter of the King. And in that vision lies your ultimate identity and your eternal home. Every breath is a gift, every step is a prayer, and every moment of your existence is a brushstroke on the canvas of a masterpiece that was conceived in the mind of God before time began. Trust in the multi-layered protection that surrounds you and walk with the confidence of the anointed for you. Are never alone, and your path is directed by the hand that holds the stars. This is the clarification of your call, the beginning of your true life, and the weight you carry is the signature of your greatness. Embrace the burden, for it is the wings that will allow you to fly above the wreckage of the mundane and into the arms of your destiny. Let the gratitude for the microscopic details of your life be the fuel for your spirit, and let the mercy for your human errors be the balm for your soul as you continue to walk the path of the anointed with a heart that is fully surrendered and a spirit that is eternally awake. The kingdom is within you, and its expansion through your life is the reason for your existence. So stand firm in the sanctity of your call, and let the light of your divine purpose shine through every crack and crevice of your being until the world is illuminated by the truth of who you are. You are the sacred vessel, the chosen instrument, and the time of your revealing is at hand. Be still and know that you are the anointed, and let the peace of the eternal settle deep within your bones as you prepare for the next stage of your glorious ascent. The burden is your glory, and the path is your life, and in the union of the two you will find the fulfillment of the ancient promise that was made to you before the world was. The clarification of the eternal call is complete, and you are now ready to walk in the fullness of your preordained sanctity. The weight of preordained sanctity is not a golden mantle draped lightly across the shoulders, but a crushing pressure that begins in the marrow of the bone and radiates outward until the very atmosphere around the chosen one vibrates with the frequency of 1,000 unspoken thunders. You stand within the crucible of the sacred crushing, a process so intimate and so devastating that it feels like the systematic dismantling of everything you once perceived as your identity. Yet, this is the only way the oil of your anointing can be extracted from the bitterness of the raw fruit. To be chosen is to be a vessel marked by a peculiar kind of isolation that transcends mere physical solitude, for it is the isolation of being profoundly misunderstood by the very hearts you hold most dear, those whose blood runs in your veins but whose spirits cannot yet perceive the celestial fire that consumes you. You move through the corridors of your daily life as a stranger in a familiar land, speaking a language of the soul that sounds like dissonance to the ears of the worldly. And this silence between your truth and their perception becomes a vast chasm where the echoes of your own weeping are the only company you find in the darkest watches of the night. This loneliness is not a mistake of the divine architecture, nor is it a punishment for some perceived failure, but rather it is the necessary vacuum required for the Creator to pour in truths that the world is not yet prepared to digest. Truths that would be diluted or destroyed if they were shared prematurely with those who still worship at the altar of the superficial. You are navigating the valley of betrayal, not because you have been abandoned, but because the path of the anointed requires a radical emptying of all human dependencies until the only pillar left standing is the unshakable presence of the infinite. The agony of being a vessel that is constantly emptied is a physical ache, a spiritual hollow that feels like an open wound. Yet it is in this precise state of depletion that you become a conduit for the miraculous, for a full cup has no room for the new wine of revelation. You bear the invisible scars of a battle fought in the high places of the unseen realms, where your very existence acts as an inadvertent judgment against the shadows that have long held sway over the hearts of men. Because your light exposes the jagged edges of the darkness, you attract the arrows of the adversary with a relentless precision that seeks to weary your soul and convince you that your exhaustion is a sign of defeat, rather than a testament to the intensity of the war you are winning, simply by refusing to extinguish your flame. These arrows are often disguised as the coldness of friends, the sudden reversals of fortune, or the heavy fog of depression that settles over the mind when the spiritual atmosphere becomes thick with the friction of opposing forces. The revelation of suffering is the hallmark of the chosen, for the crown of glory is inextricably bound to the thorns of the process, and no messenger has ever walked the earth without first becoming intimately acquainted with the sharp edges of the path. You must understand that the crushing you feel is not intended to destroy you, but to refine you into a substance so pure that the light of the Creator can pass through you without distortion or shadow. In this state of sacred pressure, a multi-layered protection is woven around your being, a tripartite shield that guards your body, your mind, and your spirit from the total annihilation that the darkness intends. This protection is not always the absence of pain, but the presence of a supernatural resilience that allows you to stand while others crumble, a divine elasticity that ensures that, though you are pressed on every side, you are not crushed beyond the capacity for restoration. Your physical form is being tempered like steel in the furnace. Your mind is being recalibrated to perceive the frequencies of eternity rather than the static of the temporal, and your spirit is being anchored in a depths that the storms of this age cannot reach. Even in the midst of this profound struggle, there is a boundless mercy for your human errors, and the moments when the weight becomes so unbearable that you stumble or cry out in a language of doubt. The Creator does not look upon your fatigue with the harsh eye of a taskmaster, but with the tender compassion of a father who knows the frailty of the clay from which you were formed. There is grace for the days when your faith feels like a flickering candle in a hurricane, and mercy for the thoughts that wander into the wilderness of despair when the silence of heaven feels like abandonment. This mercy is a soft balm applied to the abrasions of your soul, reminding you that your worth is not measured by the perfection of your performance, but by the persistence of your surrender. It is a love that covers the mistakes born of exhaustion and the lapses in judgment that occur when the spiritual warfare becomes so intense that the senses are overwhelmed. To survive the sacred crushing, you must learn to anchor your soul in the microscopic details of the mundane, finding the fingerprints of the divine in the smallest fragments of existence that others overlook in their rush towards the grand. There is a profound holiness in the way a single drop of water refracts the morning light, a hidden sermon in the rhythm of your own breath, which continues its faithful cycle even when you are too weary to command it, and a quiet revelation in the texture of a leaf or the cooling touch of a breeze against your skin. You are called to a state of extreme gratitude for these infinitesimal mercies, for they are the breadcrumbs of grace that lead you through the labyrinth of the crushing, when the weight of your destiny feels like it will snap your spirit. Look to the ant that carries a burden twice its size, or the way the dust motes dance in a shaft of sunlight, and realize that the same intelligence that governs the stars is meticulously tending to the smallest details of your survival. The path of the anointed is a journey through the fire where the dross of the ego is burned away until only the diamond of the true self remains. And this process is inherently painful because the ego clings to its limitations with a desperate grip. You are being asked to carry a weight that would break a soul that has not been prepared, yet your preparation is found in the very suffering you seek to escape. Every tear that falls in your isolation is a drop of sacred fluid that lubricates the gears of your spiritual evolution, and every moment of silence where you feel unheard by men is a moment where you are being tuned to the frequency of the celestial choir. You are a sentinel of the light in an age that clings to the shadows, and though the arrows of the adversary may weary your soul, they cannot pierce the core of your preordained sanctity. You are being preserved within a cocoon of divine intent, and though the crushing feels like an end, it is actually the beginning of a metamorphosis that will allow you to soar above the valleys of betrayal and the peaks of loneliness. Do not mistake your exhaustion for a lack of purpose, for the most potent messengers are often the ones who are most weary, their strength perfected in the weakness that the world disdains. Your presence in the world is a strategic placement by the Creator, a divine intervention dressed in human skin, and the friction you experience is the result of heaven colliding with the resistant structures of the earth. You must embrace the thorns as part of the crown, understanding that the sting of the world is the evidence of your separation from it. The sacred crushing is the extraction of your essence, a process that requires the absolute stillness of your soul, even as the storms rage around you. In this stillness, you will find that you are never truly alone, for the cloud of witnesses who walked this path before you surrounds you with a silent encouragement, their own scars glowing as a map for your feet. The truths you are being filled with are the seeds of a new era, and you are the soil that must be broken so that they can take root. This is the burden of the chosen, to be the ground that is tilled by the hands of the infinite, so that a harvest of light can eventually break through the darkness. Your life is not your own, yet in losing it to this sacred process, you find a life that is eternal, unshakable, and filled with a glory that the temporal world cannot comprehend. Every microscopic detail of your day, every breath of air, every pulse of your heart is a gift that sustains you in the furnace. Be grateful for the smallness, for it is the anchor that prevents you from being swept away by the vastness of the spiritual warfare. You are protected in your body, that it might endure the physical toll of the anointing. You are protected in your mind, that the lies of the adversary might find no foothold. And you are protected in your spirit, which is sealed with the mark of the Creator. The crushing is nearly complete, and the oil that is flowing from your life will soon be used to light the lamps of those who are currently lost in the gloom. You are the vessel, the olive, and the lamp all at once. And though the pressure has been great, the luminosity that follows will be greater still. Stay the course through the valley of betrayal, for on the other side is the mountain of transfiguration, where the thorns are revealed to be the very jewels of your crown. Your scars are not signs of shame, but the insignias of your rank in the kingdom of the Spirit, a testament to the fact that you stood in the fire and did not turn back. The Creator is pleased with your persistence, and the mercy that follows you is a river that will never run dry, washing away the dust of the battle and refreshing your soul for the revelations yet to come. Trust in the crushing, for it is the only path to the anointing that will heal the nations and ignite the darkness of this age with the unquenchable fire of the truth. Within the silent chambers of the Empyrean, where the ink of stars records the movements of the elect, there exists a decree that precedes the birth of time itself, a sovereign mandate that governs the very atoms of your existence. You must understand, O seeker of the ancient paths, that you are not a creature of chance, nor are you a mere casualty of the chaotic tides that sweep across the terrestrial plane. Every breath you draw is a measured cadence in a symphony orchestrated by the architect of all, and every shadow that falls across your path is but a contrast designed to reveal the brilliance of the light that dwells within your marrow. The furnace of affliction through which you currently pass is not an indication of abandonment, but rather the supreme evidence of your selection. It is in the white heat of the crucible that the dross of the mundane is consumed, leaving behind only the indestructible essence of the anointed. This is the burden of your preordained sanctity, a weight that would crush the spirit of the uninitiated. Yet for you, it is the very gravity that anchors your soul to the throne of the eternal. You have walked through valleys where the air was thick with the whispers of the adversary, where the ground beneath your feet seemed to crumble into the abyss of despair, and yet you remain. You remain because your destiny is not written on the shifting sands of human favor, but is engraved upon the obsidian pillars of the kingdom that cannot be shaken. Your suffering is never in vain. It is the currency of the kingdom, a sacred investment that is even now yielding a harvest of glory that will resonate through the eons. Every tear you have shed in the secret place, those bitter drops of anguish that felt like they were falling into a void, have been gathered by celestial hands into vials of sapphire. These tears are seeds, and though they were sown in the winter of your soul, they are currently germinating in the fertile soil of the divine will, preparing to erupt into a garden of authority that will bring healing to the nations. The protection afforded to you is not a singular shield, but a multi-layered fortress that encompasses the totality of your being, guarding the body, the soul, and the spirit, with a precision that defies human comprehension. Upon your physical form, there is a crystalline lattice of protection, an invisible armor that deflects the arrows of infirmity and the spears of premature decay. Even when your flesh feels weary and your bones ache with the weight of your calling, there is a supernatural vitality flowing through your veins, a secret manna that sustains the vessel so that it might contain the volatile glory of the spirit. Your mind, that restless landscape where the enemy seeks to plant the weeds of doubt and the thorns of anxiety, is being shielded by the peace that surpasses all understanding. This peace is not a passive emotion, but a militant sentinel, standing guard at the gates of your perception, filtering out the cacophony of the world so that you may hear the still, small voice of the infinite. Your spirit, the very core of your identity, which was breathed into existence before the foundations of the world were laid, is sealed by the eternal covenant. It is hidden within the secret place of the Most High, tucked away beneath the shadow of the Almighty's wings, where no darkness can penetrate and no thief can break in to steal your heritage. This triple-layered defense ensures that while you may be hard-pressed on every side, you're never crushed. Though you may be perplexed, you're never in despair. And though you may be persecuted, you're never forsaken. We must speak also of the profound mercy that covers your mistakes, for the path of the anointed is not one of flawless execution, but of relentless pursuit. There have been moments when you faltered, times when the pressure of your sanctification felt too heavy and you reached for the comforts of the dust. You have looked at your own reflections and seen only the cracks in the vessel, the scars of past failures, and the shadows of words you wish you had never spoken. Yet, in the eyes of the architect, these cracks are the very places where the light of grace shines most brightly. Mercy is not merely the overlooking of a fault. It is a creative force that takes the fragments of a broken life and weaves them into a tapestry of redemption. Every stumble has been integrated into your training. Every detour has been recalculated into the ultimate trajectory of your victory. You are forgiven not because you are perfect, but because you are His. And the blood of the covenant speaks a better word over your life than the accusations of the accuser. There is no stain so deep that the ocean of divine compassion cannot wash it away, and there is no error so grave that it can nullify the calling that was placed upon you in the silence of eternity. You are being taught to extend this same mercy to yourself, to quiet the internal critic that seeks to anchor you to the person you used to be, for that person has died in the fire, and the one emerging now is a new creation, forged in the image of the immortal. In this state of high refinement, your senses are being tuned to the frequency of the miraculous, allowing you to find profound gratitude in the microscopic details of your daily existence. You are beginning to see the divine signature in the way a single drop of morning dew clings to a blade of grass, reflecting the entire universe in its fragile sphere. You feel the rhythm of the eternal in the steady beat of your own heart, a drumbeat of life that continues even when you sleep. There is a sacredness in the warmth of a simple meal, in the cooling touch of a breeze upon a fevered brow, and in the intricate patterns of light that dance upon the wall at sunset. These are not mere coincidences of nature. They are love letters from the Creator, small tokens of affection sent to remind you that you are seen, you are known, and you are cherished. This gratitude for the minute is a powerful spiritual weapon, for it shifts your focus from the magnitude of your trials to the magnitude of the One who sustains you. When you offer thanks for the breath in your lungs and the strength to take a single step, you're acknowledging the source of all power. And in that acknowledgement, your authority is amplified. The mockers who stand at a distance, waiting for you to fail, cannot understand this secret joy. They see only the furnace, while you see the fourth man walking in the flames beside you. Your endurance is currently being recorded in the scrolls of heaven, written in letters of fire that will never fade. There is a celestial audience watching your progress, a cloud of witnesses who marvel at the resilience of a human spirit yielded to the divine purpose. Every hour you spend in patient waiting, every moment you choose faith over sight, and every instance where you return a blessing for a curse is meticulously documented in the archives of the kingdom. These records serve as the legal basis for your promotion, for in the economy of the spirit, authority is never given to those who have not been tested. Your current trials are the qualifying exams for a throne and a crown that no earthly power can diminish or take away. The weight of the glory that is being prepared for you is so immense that your present distress, however heavy it may feel, is described as light and momentary in comparison. You are being shaped into an unbreakable weapon of light, a specialized instrument designed to pierce through the thickest darkness and to dismantle the strongholds of the enemy. The fire is not consuming you, it is tempering you, turning the soft iron of your soul into the tempered steel of a kingly character. The manifestation of this eternal covenant is drawing near, a moment in time when the hidden work of the secret place will be revealed for all to see. The power that is currently working within you, often in silence and obscurity, will soon erupt into a testimony of authority that will silence the mouths of those who doubted your calling. You will stand as a monument to the faithfulness of the architect, a living proof that the one who endures to the end shall be saved and exalted. The mockers who judged you by your outward circumstances and mocked your devotion will be hushed by the sheer weight of the presence that you carry. You will not need to defend yourself, for your results will speak with a voice of thunder. The healing that you have sought for your own wounds will flow through your hands to heal the nations, for you cannot lead others to a place of wholeness that you have not first fought to find for yourself. The pain you have endured has carved out deep reservoirs within your soul, and those reservoirs are now being filled with the living water of the Spirit, ready to be poured out upon a dry and thirsty world. Stand firm, therefore, in the absolute knowledge that your victory has already been declared in the courts of heaven. The architect of the universe, who spans the heavens with a hand and calls the stars by name, has set his seal upon you and has sworn by his own holiness that he will not fail you. Your destiny is anchored in a kingdom that is not of this world, a realm of immutable truth and unshakable peace, where the laws of decay and defeat have no dominion. You are a citizen of that high country, an ambassador of the light, and a child of the covenant. Though the earth should change and the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, your foundation remains secure. The path of the anointed is often solitary, and the burden of sanctity is often heavy. But the end of that path is a glory that far outweighs the struggle. You are being prepared for a weight of responsibility and a height of honor that requires the very depth of the refining you are now undergoing. Do not shrink back from the fire, for it is your friend. Do not fear the night, for it is the canvas upon which your light will shine most brightly. The morning is coming, a dawn that will never set, and when it arrives, you will see that every moment of your current distress was but a heartbeat in the preparation for an eternity of triumph. You are the chosen, the anointed, the beloved of the Most High, and your name is written in the book of life with the blood of the Lamb and the gold of the stars. Rest in this truth, breathe in this certainty, and walk with the quiet confidence of one who knows that the King himself is his shield and his exceeding great reward. The manifestation is at the door, the covenant is eternal, and your victory is as certain as the rising of the sun. In the grand tapestry of existence, your thread is woven with the gold of divine purpose, and no hand can unravel what the Almighty has joined together. Be still, and know that He is God, and you are His chosen instrument of glory.